Hi FlossTube, this is Robin. Thank you for visiting me here at my channel, Lady Robins. And if you're interested in following me on a second platform, I'm also Lady Robins on Instagram. So you can follow me both places if you're interested. Welcome. I am happy that you're here. This is my FlossTube number 55, and today is the 17th of November 2020. I am just so tardy today, you guys. It is about 8 p.m. I've run around all day and I am finally sitting down to chat with you about my stitching and talk about all sorts of yummy cross-stitch floss tube goodness. So sit back, grab yourself a beverage. I'm going to grab mine and show off our mug. If you're new here, this is my thing. I love the Starbucks You Are Here mugs, and this is Florida. Isn't that cute? Got a little pink flamingo. It makes me think of Kathy Haberman, the hands-on design lady. I know she loves those. So anyway, I have got myself about the last inch of a cocktail. It's after dinner, the lights are out. I just felt like having a cocktail, so I'm having one. The funny thing about the cocktail is, for Father's Day, I couldn't go shopping, so I had to order something online, and I was trying to think of something that did not come from Amazon, because once we got locked down during the stay-at-home orders here in the state of Washington, I mean, there was a steady stream of Amazon things coming to our door. I don't know if you were like us, but I mean, everything from, TP to baby powder, right? So I wanted to get my husband something that did not come from Amazon. So I bought him a subscription box, a cocktail subscription box, and we have been having the most fun making these little cocktails when the box shows up every month. And I only got him a subscription for 3 months, and when the 3 months was over, he said, "So are we going to renew it?" Sure, why not? If you're having a good time doing it, we absolutely should continue that. Sadly, this month's box, easy for me to say, apparently I shouldn't have cocktails, my husband hates them. So I am single-handedly plowing through this box. But anyway, that's where we're at on Tuesday evening. All right, you guys, I have an FFO to show you this week. I'm very excited. Of course, we've got some WIPs. I have a teeny tiny bit of haul. Plans, I don't know. I'm not sure I have plans. But we'll talk about all of it together. So sit back, grab whatever beverage is in front of you, pick up your stitching. Let's talk about cross stitch, shall we? I'm going to start with the last inch of my cocktail. Okay. Excuse me. All right, so let's start with cinnamon stars. So last time we were together, I told you that I wanted to change the color of the fence. I wasn't digging the color that the fence was charted in, and I wanted to make it a white picket fence. So what I did was I tested out two floss colors. I tried B5200, which is a stark white, and then I tried your classic DMC 000, right? Which is a little beigeier white, but it's not ecru. I mean, it's still white. And it turns out I didn't like either one of them. So what I ended up doing is the white that's the grout in our cabin is what I chose to stitch the white picket fence in. It's perfect. I should have thought of that. But I wanted to make sure that it would show up on my fabric, and because there was already a white in my stitching, anything that wasn't this white looked, you know, completely out of place. So luckily I have got tons. This is it's oatmeal. I think it's a Gentle Arts. Let me take a peek. Well, you'd think I could find that, wouldn't you? Oh yeah, it is Gentle Arts. So this is oatmeal by Gentle Arts, and it is variegated, so it does have some bits that are a little beigeier than others. And so when I come to those parts of the floss, I do kind of, you know, skip past that and pick up stitching with the whiter parts, because I really want it to look like a white picket fence. And I think it's accomplishing that. So that's where I'm at on Cinnamon Stars. I'm totally digging this. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, you know, I'm you know, really sneaking up on a finish on this one. What am I talking about? I haven't done the smoke trail of stars. That's going to take a little bit of time. And then of course there's, you know, the sunflowers. There's a cute little scarecrow. I have plenty of stitching left on this. This will not be finished anytime soon, but it's okay. When I'm stitching it, I'm happy doing it. I was stitching this while I was watching college football on Saturday night, and I was just having the best time. And let me tell you, those pumpkins, that was the perfect thing to stitch on while watching football, because it was exactly the same color. I didn't have to change anything out. The counting was exactly the same for all 5 of them. I got good stitching done on that, and the frog didn't visit me. So that's where I'm at on Cinnamon Stars. And I always forget, you guys, but you know, if you read the show notes below, I do tell you what I stitched on, but I have it written on the back of the chart. So I am stitching it on a 32 count R&R linen in the color apple brown. So in case you're curious, that's what I'm stitching it on. I'm using all the called for fancy flosses. So when I'm done with this, I will have tons of fancy flosses to put back into my storage bins for other projects. So that is where I got to on this guy. All right. The next thing that I pulled out to stitch on, I decided it is the middle of November, and maybe I should start thinking about some Christmas stitching. So I broke out, this is my kit from FriendStitch, the online Zoom retreat that I attended, that was put on by the gals from Bent Creek and the lady from Heart in Hand. I get so mixed up between that and Hands on Design. I'm always trying to get those mixed up, but that's who put on the retreat. So anyway, the retreat kit came with everything. It came with the floss, it came with the fabric, it came with the charts. And so I am working on this one, which I think is so sweet. You know, the sampler alphabets. I love the 2 red cardinals, and those trees couldn't be nicer. So what I got accomplished on this one, when I picked this up, I basically had the first row and maybe part of the second row of the alphabet done. So I got all the way down to the very last row, so I'm almost done with the alphabet part, and then I get to move on to those yummy trees. I'm totally looking forward to stitching on those. I hope you're not falling in love with this pattern, because the gals were adamant at the retreat that they wanted this to be an exclusive retreat only pattern. They have no plans whatsoever of releasing it down the line. So I kind of made me sad, because this is a super cute pattern. I think everybody deserves a copy of this thing. So Anyway, if you weren't able to go to FriendStitch, I'm sorry, they will not release the pattern. Which is unusual because most times the designer will, you know, let it be exclusive for a year, you know, or a couple of seasons and then release it. But these gals, they have a different thought on that. That's okay. You get to make up your own rules when you're the designer, right? Well, I'm just glad that I went because I'm a complete, total Bent Creek nut. I pretty much love everything that they designed. And then, you know, Heart and Hand, what's not to like there, right? In fact, I got my latest copy of, what is it, the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. I'll do a quick flip through on that towards the end here. But anyway, that was the second thing that I got stitching on this week. So that was fun to pick that back up again and kind of start to feel the Christmas holiday stitching. Christmas is one of my favorite holidays, so it was fun to do Christmas stitching. Loved it. I think this is done on a 32 count. And then of course all the called for floss that was provided in the kit. Okay, so there's that. And then the next thing that I got up to is I started working, I went back to the La-Di-Da Smell My Feet. And last time when we were together, I was so sure that I had made a mistake because I didn't think the two toe curls were matching on what I was stitching. So I spent a lot of time going through row by row between the two different toes. And guess what? They're not charted identical. They are slightly different from each other. So the fact that they don't look the same, that's what the designer charted. So I didn't have to frog. Woohoo! Isn't that how you feel when you don't have to frog? Okay, so this is where I got to on Smell My Feet. So the shoes are done, the trick is done, the treat is done. So I still have to do the oar in the middle, put the two little leggies in there, and then just finish up the border all the way around. And then this is, you know, a nice big piece of fabric. This is 32 count Havana, which I think is pretty close to a perfect color. I love this one. So I have plenty of fabric to do. I said on my last FlossTube video that I felt that La-Di-Da had put out a pattern called Something Wicked, which I think is almost like a companion piece. I know that they probably don't call it that, but it's got the same shoe with the big curl. I'm going to show you that later because I didn't have that pattern, so I finally picked it up. So that now that when I get this guy done, then I can do that. So my Halloween stitching is either a month late or 11 months early, depending on how you want to look at it. So, La-Di-Da, Smell My Feet. I think this is the cutest thing. So, that's where I got to on that one. Okay. Oh, I gotta tell you a funny story. I got a summons for jury duty this week. Can you believe it? 2020 just keeps on giving. The nice thing was, I was a little worried about it because I didn't want to sit in a room with all those people breathing and all those aerosols around, and I was a little worried about it. But luckily, I got an email from the jury pool people, whoever they are, right? And they said, unless you get an email by the 16th of November, where we interview you and, you know, do an online, you know, question and answer with a bailiff or whatever, you can consider yourself out of jury duty. I've got the card right here. It was worded so, you know, lawyery. It said, what did it say? Okay. If you are not selected for a trial by the date on the back of this card, which is the 16th of November, your obligation for this term is considered complete. Yay! I have completed my term for jury duty. I don't have to get called for a while, hopefully. I'd be willing to go, of course. I'd be more than happy to do my civic duty as long as everybody is wearing a mask and sitting at least 17,000 feet away from me. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I was so happy not to have to go, and work is very thrilled to find out that I will actually be showing up at work tomorrow right on time. Oh my goodness. I just about died when that card showed up in my mailbox. Oh. Okay. So, ready for an FFO? I finished it. All right, I'm kind of cheating because the stitching is done. This is Grateful by Cherry Hill Stitchery, and it's, you know, it's on my mat board. I've got the Warm and Natural batting under here, giving it a little cush. So it's all framed. The only thing I haven't done is I haven't attached a washer and a magnet, because it's going to go on here. So that is what it's going to look like when it's all done. Yeah, I'm really happy with how this has turned out. And this is a chalkboard. So I definitely, you know, want to put, you know, the magnet on the back, and then I could switch things in and out if I decided to, or I could use it as an honest to goodness chalkboard if the mood struck me. But I think this is pretty close to perfect. Yay! So there you are. So there's my kind of FFO, right? All right, so that's the FFO. And what I did, I just thought I'd show you. I posted on Instagram last night that I did. I'm just reaching, sorry, to get out of the frame here. Yesterday, I turned on a Harry Potter movie. I'm a big Harry Potter fan. I love those movies. And I sat there and I basted because I want to make sure when I put my piece on my mat board that it's straight. Because I'm telling you, my head is on my body at like a 15-degree angle. I think something is completely straight until I stick it down for real and forever, and then I go, oh, that's not quite right. It happens to me over and over again. Does it happen to you? I hope not, because it's very frustrating. So anyway, one of the things I learned at FriendStitch is they baste a line around their piece. And so then what you do is you grab your mat board. Now, here you can see I've got my mat board. I haven't trimmed off my excess batting yet, but pretend I have. Then when you go to put your piece on the mat board, you get that mat board right up in those little corners, and then they fold it over and then they pin it. And that gives you plenty of time to wiggle it around, you know, unpin it and pull it and tug it and all that good stuff. And then it's up to you. If you're going to put it in a frame, you can just go with the pinning along the edge, right? Or like what I did over here on Grateful, because I'm going to take it off and, you know, for storage purposes, I'm going to take it on and off that little chalkboard. I attached it with Stitchery tape, and I pulled all my pins out of the edge, and then I'll glue my washer on there. So now this one, this is Fresh Picked Pumpkins by Barbie Pedal Pusher. You can get this lovely pattern through Etsy. Anyway, my husband is going to build me a frame out in the garage. You know, we talked about that last week. He's got his big tool, so we're all excited about that. So anyway, I basted this guy. The other one I basted, I actually finished stitching this last year in 2019 and have yet to get it, you know, fully finished, FFO'd, right? This is Let Us Be Thankful by, guess who? I heard you say it, Bent Creek, of course. So, Let Us Be Thankful is set to go, so my basting is in there. My husband is gonna make me the frame. I'll have it on the board and ready to go. When the frame is complete, pop it in there, and we're good. Yeah. Now, on the FriendStitch tutorial where they showed doing the basting and then the pinning into the side of the mat board, they didn't take the basting stitches out. You know, they just left them in there. I am way too anal for that. I have, you know, you can see. And again, you know, this one, I pulled the basting stitches out. I couldn't leave them. Yuck. But what I am trying to figure out is if I'm going to add some Lady Dot chenille trim around it. Now, I kind of think this is the perfect color. Don't you think so? The problem is this piece barely fits in here, and so it would, you know, it would be hugging these little, you know, whoops, these little swoops, and I don't want it to look like it's jammed in there. So I'm still toying with if I'm going to put that trim on here. I think it would look really super cute. I'm just afraid it will look like I've smashed it into this frame. So jury's still out on that. Okay. Oh, and then the other thing, you guys, is I did put my initials and the year on Fresh Picked Pumpkins, and I just did it. My initials are right down there, and the year is right over here. I think it looks fine. I'm glad I didn't do it any bigger. I was thinking of making it, you know, pretty big, but I didn't want that to be the thing that drew your attention. So I am glad I went with a more subdued size. Yeah, so there we go. So that's what I got up to yesterday. I didn't do any stitching yesterday beyond basting. Yeah, basting, measuring, cutting the mat board, gluing the quilt batting to the board. And this is actually, this is foam core, so that I have enough room to do the pinning if I want to. Which, you know, and I will pin it, but I don't know if I'll leave it. I don't know. Haven't decided yet. Jury's still out. Again, subject to change without advance notice, right? So that was what I got up to in terms of stitching this week, which was good. I had a couple of appointments that I needed to take my mom to, so that cut into a little stitching time. That's okay. Mom's doing much better. In fact, she's doing so well that she has now forgotten, unless you remind her, that she fell and broke her hip, and she thinks the walker in the house is my dad's. And so she, you know, you go over there and she's, you know, halfway across the kitchen without her walker. What are you going to do? What you do is you walk in the door and you become a crazy person and you start yelling. Not a good tactic, Robin. I need to find my inner zen when I see her halfway across the kitchen without her walker. Yeah, it's just going to happen, and I just need to calm myself down and not start screaming like a crazy person, which is what I did yesterday. I walked in, with their dinner. Hi, how you doing? Oh my gosh, Mom, your walker is down here and you're over there. And, you know, I lost my bacon. So today I took both of them in to get their hair done, and yep, she met me without the walker again. So I was a much better daughter today. I didn't like, you know, completely blow a Wingate. It's hard, you guys. It's kind of hard. Oh well, I'm lucky they're still around to scream at, right? I shouldn't have said that. You know what I mean though. Okay, so that was my stitching. That is kind of what I got up to. I want to pause the video and go get my copy of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine that showed up yesterday, because there is some great stuff that I wanted to show you in that magazine. So hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, here I am. And in case you haven't seen it, here is the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher. This is our, what are they calling it? This is your Christmas winter edition. Now, look at all those flags. I think I flagged every single cross stitch pattern in here as ones I want to do. So, I just thought I'd take it, you know, take a minute and just flip through the loveliness that is this issue. There is so many just eye candy, you guys, eye candy. You're gonna love it. All right, so of course, right at the beginning is the Priscilla and Chelsea pattern, which couldn't be more beautiful. Let's see here. The next thing is from Misty Purcell at Luminous Fiber Arts. This guy. Ugh, love that. Comfort and Joy. Isn't that cool? You guys, I appreciate you sticking with me for all of my videos. I am just so thrilled that you're all here. I just wanted to throw that out there and say that. Okay, so from Sub Rosa Design, look at that. Merry Christmas with those adorable cardinals, that great house. Love that. And then from Twin Peak Primitives, Chillin'. That's just so cute. I'm trying to figure out who needs that as a Christmas ornament, right? All right, where am I next? Okay. Okay, from the Knobby Needle, we've got Winter Wonderland. Isn't that great? So pretty. After that, we've got Winter's Peace, and this is by Teresa Miller. Look at that. Love that fabric. That is really cool. Next up, from Lindy Stitches, wonderful Stephanie, we have Polar Bear's Abode. That is just adorable. Love that. And then from Cecilia Turner of Heart in Hand, look at that cardinal. I love that. Love, love, love that. All right. Mr. Snowman by Lucy Beam. That's sweet. Okay, this is my favorite. I'm going to start this like tomorrow. The Friendly Beasts, and this is by Abby Topknot Stitcher. I love, love, love this. This is my favorite Christmas carol of all times. Favorite. Yep. Beyond Joy to the World, Beyond Silent Night. This is my favorite Christmas carol. I know all of the verses. So when I saw that, I'm like, oh, my husband has got to make me the little barn for that to get mounted in. He doesn't know it yet, but I need one. Okay, and then here from Teresa Kogut, look at this guy. What is that called? Frolicking on Fern Hill. Love it. Okay, we just have a few more, you guys. We've got Ginger Goodies by Leela May Designs. Look at this. Look at those cute gingerbread guys. Aren't they sweet? All right. Oh, and then from Shakespeare's Peddler, we have Joy 1813. Look at that little pillow. Isn't that great? Oh, I love the colors in that. And then last but not least, from Barbara Anna. Oh, I love this one. So after I do the Friendly Beasts, I'm doing this guy. Look at that. Look at that sled. Yeah, love it. So this magazine, I'm telling you, if I bought nothing next year, which is not going to happen, let me just put that out there right now. I'm going to be buying stuff next year because there's probably going to be, you know, a virtual market. But if I didn't buy anything at all next year, I got lots of good stitching ahead of me. There is just chock full of wonderful things. Okay, so beyond my magazine showing up, I did buy 2 charts this week. I bought Something Wicked by Lottie Daw. This is the one that I think is the companion piece to Smell My Feet. I just think that is adorable. So I bought that guy. And then, guess who? You'll never guess. Bent Creek. I saw this one, Gobble, and like I told you the other week, my husband was slightly disappointed that there isn't much Halloween, or there isn't much Thanksgiving stitching after all the Halloween stuff came out. So I thought this would be super sweet to stitch up and include next year in my holiday decor for Thanksgiving. So those are my purchases. All right. If you have stuck with me, this long, just another couple of minutes, guys, and then I'll let you go. I wanted to give you a couple of book recommendations. I just finished reading Book of Lost Friends by Lisa Wingate. That's the second book of hers that I have read now. One of you lovely subscribers pointed that one out to me, so I finally got around to reading it. Loved it. It was fantastic. I think that if you need something to read while the days are getting shorter, I would highly recommend that. The other thing, now that I'm finished with that, is I'm listening on audio to Binti, which is a science fiction book, and I have an Audible subscription through Amazon, and it's only 2.5 hours long, and I've got 18 minutes left, so when I'm done talking to you guys, I'm going to go finish up Binti and do some stitching. And for the life of me, I cannot remember the author, but Binti, B-I-N-T-I, if you need a science fiction fix, go for that. Oh, and I've got to tell you a cute story. One of my girlfriends, her youngest niece is an avid reader. Avid. They live really close to an independent bookstore. The kids yell, "Mom, we're heading off to," whatever the name of the bookstore is. They almost have a subscription page. The kids show up at the bookstore. The employees write down what the kids want, and then they call mom and get the credit card number. Is the way I understand it. But anyway, the youngest one got some, I think she picked up library books on the curbside to go, and was really concerned about the librarians because nobody tips librarians. She thinks this is a social injustice. something needs to be done about this. Librarians need to be tipped. I thought that was charming. Oh my goodness. All right, so my plans are pretty much what I talked about last week. I'm going to try to get some more FFOs done. I'm going to continue on Cinnamon Stars. Definitely the FriendStitch ABC sampler. What else? Probably break out Cardinal Points again. Definitely finish Smell My Feet. I am that close to a finish, so just time to buckle down and get that guy going. I haven't really thought about what I'm going to do in terms of plans for 2021. I do know I'm not going to do no new starts. That won't work for me. I'm going to start what I want to start when I want to start it. So I'm not going to do that. And I'm also not going to do Stitch from Stash. That was disaster this year. It would be a disaster next year. So I can tell you what I'm not going to do. I don't know for sure what I am going to do. All right, you guys, I appreciate you so much sticking with me through this long rambling video. I hope you have a great week. I hope you find time to do stitching and that you're staying well and healthy and everything's good for you. It's good for us right now, so let's keep that going. All right, you guys, I will see you next week, and stitch happy, my friends. Okay, see ya. Bye.